Thank you, my lady. A few little quick questions. What is your age? Is your field?
No.
Okay. Active?
He's turning 18.
Right. Now, the involves in terms of person and to what extent person compromised or affected or detrimented by. Give us some info there. What have, and I want you to agent
4.
Jason's he's been running the business has in any manner
Because there's a big gap in our company. Both myself weren't
that.
partner he you do tenants. Potential future keep his eye on the ball, the correct, basically to promote the business with staff. Running the business.
And what is on the
You know, a more active role, take care of my an active role, so it's and a huge.
and when you say your grandchildren
My 3 grandchildren. Yes. Yeah, and that at the time, and it was matric. That contact between was so terribly important.
Now, Jason was first accused of attitude towards on the story of affected the daughters. Being supportive,
Because of the service. And so I observe them. And their father, and trust of their father.
how will his absence, let's just say because he's sitting in jail, how will that affect them in your view?
They're very strong girls. They are very strong girls. They're amazingly strong young ladies. But they adore their father. They look to him for guidance. They still look to him for guidance and respect his wishes. They just loved him and supported him.
Now, when we last convened, the twins, the younger two, had just finished their matric and they had been admitted to first year university at Stellenbosch University. Did they, or are they still due to go to university?
Yes, they started in January.
Right. And do you know what they're studying?
The one is doing BA Humanities, and the other one is doing what's called BA Law.
And Katie, the elder daughter,
Catherine,
what is her age now?
Catherine is 20, turning 21 this year, and she gave up her studies last year because the pressure of the trial got too much for her. She did then have the opportunity, because Jason was at home on bail, to possibly, my observation is they have a better relationship now than they ever did before, and it was such a lovely thing to see. I think Jason also learned that you actually have to communicate more and talk, and Catherine appreciated this, and they became friends.
Now, just on the issue of financial support, are you and your husband in a position, bearing in mind your age and your husband's position as retired, are you and your husband in a position to finance the girls at university?
No, we're not, unfortunately.
How are they being financed? I mean, how are they, what is the plan? How are they to be financed?
The mother-in-law said she was organising funds from somewhere. So I actually don't know where those funds came from or coming from.
Okay. Those funds that you're referring to, are you referring to a loan now or a donation by those grandparents?
When we had the conversation, we had a round table. We tried to keep open communication between ourselves, because obviously we've got grandchildren, which we all love very, very much. And we had a round table meeting about this in January, and it was indicated that they were organizing funds. I thought maybe it was a loan from them, who are in a different position to us, but now I'm not too sure.
Anything else? Oh yes, just a little bit of information about Kate. As I understood it, and you've mentioned this, she gave up university halfway through the year last year for the reasons that you've stated. And what was her plan going to be this year then? Was she intending to return to university, or was she going to do something else?
No, she was actually quite excited because she got a waitressing job in Cape Town, which she wanted to do in the interim this year. And alongside that, she planned to do studies possibly with Pilates, and then make a decision whether she would be able or wanted to follow the BA degree that she's got half the way through to.
Was there any thought of her going back to university to study? And what about the financial implications vis-a-vis her sisters?
Catherine worries desperately that she has to help her sisters financially because their dad's not there.
Right. And then she had an accident.
And then she had a bad accident in December.
Just very briefly, she fell off a wall or something?
We were in Cape Town, I think, with proceedings here, and she fell off a very high wall, fell down, double fractured on her leg, and injured. She had head injuries.
And is she...
And that day she'd been waitressing, and I think late of the night, and she was tired. She made a wrong decision, she knows that. But she's had to pay the consequences now, so she's really been housebound since December, where I've been looking after her.
And has she been working at all since then?
No, she can't work. She's on double crutches.
And is she going to recover?
She will recover. It's a long process.
I'm talking about the head injury.
The head injuries. She's still got concussion, where she gets dizzy and disorientated. But yeah, we're hoping that everything's going to be okay with time and heals.
Okay. A last word from you. Is there anything you want to say in conclusion?
Just in general.
Yes, anything you want to tell the court, anything you want the court to take into account in sentencing Jason?
I can't emphasize enough Jason's gentle, caring personality, not only with his family, but with his friends and with his business employees. He was always there for them. If they, salespeople have their ups and downs, and he would give loans, even with a case where they had no pipeline, as we call it, so no real guarantee for us that it was going to be repaid. He's always been accommodating and understanding that we can all be in that position. His employers in the home, Lucia, and now in Plettenberg Bay. They all have trust and admiration for him and wish him well. As a son, he's been a very, very good son to us, very good. He's always been there, and he's been caring, and just being a stable personality when times have got tough for us. He was there when I developed a sickness. He was there every day. His character, he has a fun, easygoing character, but aloof and a little standoffish. That's just his persona. Inside, he's got a heart of gold. I love him very much, so does his father, his sisters and all his aunts and uncles and cousins, and they're with him every step of the way. My grandchildren adore their father, and I ask the court to be lenient, if for no other reason, for his children, and that is not a threat whatsoever to anybody.
Thank you, Mrs. Rohde. Thank you, my lady.
Mrs. Rohde, were you present when David Anderson gave his testimony on the finances in December?
No, I don't think I was. Maybe mistaken, I don't think I was.
You were also not given a transcribed record of his testimony where he explained the trust that was set up and the monies into the trust of the deceased estate of Susan Rohde. You're not aware of the details of that?
Not the full details, no. Mm-hmm.
I put it to you, the state will argue from the presentation by Mr. Anderson, and the state will later refer also to a Liberty Life policy to the value of 735,000 rand. I'll deal with it a bit later. This is all for the girls. So the statement I'm putting to you is they are very well cared for at university, firstly, the twins. You agree?
I have no idea. I just told you that what I understood was that the parents-in-law were going to finance it.
Well, it's been financed mostly. The evidence is there. I'm just putting it to you, and I'm not going to belabor the point, by this trust that has been set up.
Mr. Panika, I think the witness has expressed what she knows. You can address me that in argument.
As the court pleases. Just last aspect, the involvement on this, the involvement of the grandparents, Diane and Neville Holmes. They've been there for the kids as you have been there, correct?
Yeah, it's correct. Well, not quite. I've lived in the home for... But yes, they've been there, but not in the home. I've lived in the home.
Coming back to your business, Lou Geffen is still a quarter shareholder, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
And he can step in also to assist with the management.
No, not at all.
Well, it's theoretically possible, you agree? To safeguard his investment there.
No, he's a busy man. He's not about to step into running our offices. Absolutely not.
Well, he can arrange through his contacts and his own business that help be given. Isn't that so?
Do you mean he could employ somebody?
Logically, he can. There's no impediment on it.
I don't know how to answer that because no, he wouldn't employ. Why would he go and employ somebody? I just really don't understand the reasoning with that.
Well, as I understand you, he's got a vested interest in the company. He owes a quarter of your company.
Yeah. And he hasn't got the time to worry about 3 offices when he's got now, I think, thanks to Jason, about 48 offices. So no.
I'll leave that for further argument. The judgment by this Honourable Court, have you read it?
No, I haven't.
So you can't really comment on the behaviour that was described in the judgment, the type of behaviour, the character shown by Jason. You're not familiar with what was said in the judgment, correct?
I haven't read the judgment.
Have the twins been giving access to the judgment for them to read and understand what happened?
I can't really answer that because if they have, I don't know of it. They've just been studying for matric and did very successfully in the matric. I doubt very much whether they would really want to read everything or have the time.
Susan's sister Angela and her husband, and they've got 3 kids. Is it correct she's been very involved in assisting the 3 kids?
Yes, she has.
And in fact she was in Grahamstown, as I understand, when the judgment was given, assisting them with the exams, matric exams. That's now referring to the twins, correct?
No, I don't think she was assisting with the exams. I think she was there as a little bit of moral support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
She was there physically.
Yeah.
You would agree, and it's quite understandable, you're in a terrible position here as a mother of a son that you love and that you would like to support. And that's where you're coming from, ask for leniency today to this court. Is that a correct summary of your position?
Support of my son to tell the truth and the support of my granddaughter's future.
And in that sense, there is an element of bias where you're coming from, which is understandable.
I don't know whether biased is telling the truth of personal experience and opinions asked. So no, I wouldn't say I was biased. I just stated what I believe and what is fact.
Thank you, Martha. I've got no further questions.
No re-examination. May the witness be excused, please, my lord. Now, lady, that concludes the evidence to be led on behalf of the defence in mitigation. I had previously discussed with my learned friend approaching the learned court, request leave to present brief heads and submit our argument in court tomorrow. However, we did encounter one massive technological problem, and that is my computer went offline, all my lights in the house on Saturday at 10 a.m. and they only went on at 7:10 in the evening, and I lost an entire day of work. If it is at all possible for the court to postpone the matter for argument and presentation of heads until Wednesday, that would be gratefully appreciated. My learned friend has indicated that he will not oppose that request.
Okay. Thank you.
My lady, indeed. But before we get there, I did contact my learned friend about a piece of evidence that I would like to place before court, and that relates to the question I also asked this witness on the liberty life. payment out of the fund, and I understand the defense with some proviso will accept this letter that I did forward to them about a week ago. It's dated the 24th of January 2019 from Liberty Life, and it was sent to Mr. David Anderson indicating that a policy has been paid out in the amount of 735,30, 735,000 rand. I beg you to hand this in as an exhibit.
Thank you. You confirm that, Mr. Van der Spy?
Thank you. That is perfectly in order, my lady. I might just place something on record. I think when my learned friend sent this initially to my instructing attorney and copied it to me, I was under by Mr. Rohde during the course of his testimony. Now it turns out that this is a payment that was made by the insurance company Liberty Life, referred to, which was taken out less than paid out. The other policy that still had the suicide exclusion clause was actually not with Liberty Life, it was with Discovery Insurance or Discovery Health or something. Totally unrelated. I just mentioned that. Friend is welcome to hand up this document. We do not dispute that such a payment was made into the estate by Liberty Life, but it is done on the basis that my client has absolutely no knowledge or recollection of any such policy. And he can only assure you that at some stage in the past, taken out the policy, or it was a policy attached to some, but he has no knowledge of it, but he's not disputing that it was so.
Thank you.
As I understand it, of Mr. David Anderson's evidence, we got to double in for November, double in 2, if this could be marked double in.
It's so marked. Thank you. As regarding to submission of heads, which I don't really need, but if you'd like to prepare it in preparation of your arguments, by all means, I would be indebted to you. It will facilitate the court. We were hoping from our discussions via my registrar that we will do closing arguments tomorrow, but we understand that load shedding offers us some gremlins, and Mr. Van der Spy maybe learn to save as you go along.
No, my lady, the stories that the electricity department told me on Saturday were
Horrendous.
mind-boggling.
I can just imagine.
That you produce a thesis. I'm talking about a 2 or 3 page document.
Thank you. That being the case, Mr. Rohde, we'll proceed in respect of sentencing. I'm accordingly postponing the matter to that date. I will execute your warrant for your return on that day, the 20th of February, which is Wednesday. Thank you.
As the court pleases.
As a court please.